Well, hello there, and welcome to the Cape episode. Yeah, Dennis and I are up at the Cape house, and yeah, if you're just tuning in, this is not the normal format of my YouTube channel. Usually I plop down in front of the camera and share what I've been knitting on, what I've been quilting on, or whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down. But at least once a year, Dennis and I come up to his family house out in Cape Cod, and while Dennis is out for a run, I thought I would sit down with you and chat and catch you up on what we've been up to. As you can see, it's a really sunny day, and yeah, probably the nicest day that we've had so far. Granted, we did have 2 beach days. We did go to the beach twice, and both days were, well, the first day was super hot, super humid, and yesterday it was just very overcast, very windy. The weather here is incredibly changeable and erratic, and not. I will be honest, guys, it's not really my jam, but I will admit it is gorgeous up here. Definitely worth the trip to see the beaches, the nature, and just, it's just really pretty up here. So I'll try and sprinkle in some B-roll. But anyway, more on that later. I just wanted to catch you up on what I've been knitting on since I got up here. I brought 3 projects with me. I brought my Fiola, I brought a new cast on, which I'm not going to talk about just yet. I'm going to wait until the next episode. But I did cast on something brand spanking new that I've been itching to cast on ever since I saw it pop up on my Instagram feed, and that is the Lace and Fade Boxy by Locatelli. And oh my gosh, you guys, when she teased it on Instagram, I saw just a little portion of it, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, I know that's going on my needles. And then she debuted it, and it turned out to be this glorious oversized boxy sweater. I mean, it's a variation of her boxy sweater, which, if you're not familiar, it's just this really awesome oversized stockinette sweater, and it's very boxy, hence the name Boxy. But she came out with this really beautiful lace and fade version, but in between the fade sections there are these really pretty lace sections. So I got pretty far. I mean, up on the right here, I cast on and knit the back portion. So here's where we are on that. Ta-da! Look at that. And yeah, this super long, guys, but yeah, it's super long because it's going to have dropped shoulders, so it's going to look something like this, except this is the back portion. So I knit the back portion, and this is the front portion that I'm working on right now. So yeah, this is going to be more like that. So yeah, it's going to have dropped shoulders, knit on sleeves, and yeah, it's going to be really beautiful. So far, I'm loving every stitch. And yeah, new to me sweater knitting techniques, guys. I'm so used to knitting all of my sweaters top down in the round, color work or lace or whatever. This is just a completely new construction for me, and I'm loving it. It's so fascinating and interesting. Every time I come across like a new sweater construction or technique, I gobble it up. I'm here for it. Yeah, because it keeps the knitting exciting. Because if you knit the same thing over and over again, things get a little boring, am I right? So yeah, anyway, let me talk about the yarn. The yarn is my hand-dyed yarns, Voolenvine yarns, in my Rochester base. And yeah, it's just a really beautiful, in my opinion, I mean, I'm biased because I dye it, but it's just, I want to say like a sandy brown with like peach heather mixed in, and I'm knitting it on my Nouveau base, which is a single ply merino superwash, and then also on my ghost lace for the lace sections. And yeah, as soon as I saw the lace and fade boxy, I immediately thought of this colorway, and yeah, I'm making it happen. I'm knitting the size 2, so the second size up from the smallest. So this is definitely going to be a very roomy, which I really like, and also because that doesn't mean I have to swatch because it's pretty shapeless on me. So I'm not swatching. I'm using the recommended needle size, which is a US size 4. And yeah, I had to bring up a lot of size 4 needles with me because, again, you're knitting this in pieces at first and then joining it in the round. So yeah, what is a US size for? US size for 3.5 millimeter. Yeah, and just a medley of Chiaogu Sharps, I'm sorry, Chiaogu Redleys, and then also Haya Hayas, and then I think I have an extra spare of some generic size 4 3.5 millimeters in my knitting bag. And yeah, let me see. Do do do. Yeah, so here is the yarn that I'm using caked up in case you want to see it as that. Ta-da! And yeah, the past couple of days, so far I've only been knitting on this inside because it's just been so freaking humid here. Today, the humidity is to a minimum. I can handle it, but it was pretty unbearable, guys. I was like, why did we come up here? But today is a better day, and you can imagine I was not going to sit on the beach or out here knitting on mohair when it was that humid. I mean, it was a type of humid where you're sitting out here and your skin just feels really kind of clammy and gross, and I just felt really uncomfortable in my own skin. And because the sun was out, I had to wear sunblock, and yeah, it was just a really overall gross feeling. But again, today is a better day, so not complaining. Also not complaining because we are heading home today. Yeah, I mean, while we did have a good time here, you know, we got to see the beach, we got to go on a hike, on a trail. We brought Bella with us, and you know, she loves it out here. I mean, she's our local resident humidity barometer, because whenever it gets super humid out, she just puffs up like a puff ball. But yeah, she's up here, and then yeah. Anyway, Dennis is out for a run. He's gonna come back, and then we're gonna go check out an antique shop nearby, grab some lunch, and then hit the road and head back home. I also made a pit stop at Marie's Fabrics in Orleans, which I think it's about like a 30-minute drive from here, from where we are in Harwich. So yeah, I treated myself to some fabric, guys, because I can't help myself. Whenever I mention that I'm up at the Cape, I definitely get a lot of comments from people in the area or people who have been here before, and they all say, have you been to Murray's Fabrics? You have to check out Murray's Fabrics. And they all recommend yarn shops. Did not make it to a yarn shop this trip, unfortunately, just because, you know, we were trying to just relax, and then the days we did have free, a lot of yarn shops were closed around here. But Murray's Fabrics, they were open yesterday, and I picked myself up another layer cake. Look! This is Sea Botanica by Sarah Gordon and Figo Fabrics. I've never heard of Figo Fabrics before, but just some really beautiful sea prints. I don't know, I just figured, you know, it's so oceanic up here. Just go the whole mile with the ocean theme. But they have just some really beautiful, like, shell prints, corals, little acorns, yeah, little coral prints. And you also get some solids in here. So yeah, just some nice peaches, teals, corals, blacks, just completely right up my alley. And then they even give you a pattern on the back, which it's cool, but it looks like something I just made. It kind of reminds me of the Baby Kisses quilt, same construction, but just in a different, but just a variation of it, if that makes sense. So I got that, and then I also got some matching fabric to go, like, I don't know what I'm going to make out of this, but I got some matching grunge fabric, kind of like the sandy peach, to be kind of the background fabric. I'm going to see if I can order more of this fabric by the yard online, because again, I have no idea what I'm going to be making with this, but I know, you know, in hindsight, I probably should have gotten more fabric, because yeah, when I make a quilt, I'm probably, you know, well, this is going to be the background fabric, I'm definitely going to want to add a matching border to this. So anyway, I went into the store. I had no idea what I was going to find or what I was going to get, but that fabric spoke to me, and it came home with me, so yay. And yeah, anyway, Murray's Fabrics, sewing machines. They have sewing machines there. You can test them out. Yeah, I'll leave a link if you're in the area. If you're in the area and you want to check it out, definitely worth stopping in. The owner, the woman who's there with the shop, was super helpful, even recommended a long armor. While I am considering sending some of my quilts out to Missouri Star Quilt Company, it's nice to have another option that I can check out, especially Massachusetts is way more local to me than Missouri. And anyway, so that was fun. And there's a Christmas tree shop right across the street, so, you know, you can kill two birds with one stone. Anyway, Yeah, that's what I got yesterday. That's what I've been knitting on for the most part, and yeah, it's just been a nice little getaway. You know, despite the humidity, despite the heat, you know, we had a really nice time up here. The food, I love the food out here. It is so good. I did have my lobster dinner because Dennis and I we went on a lobster roll cruise. Every year we didn't get to last year because they were all sold out, but this year we nabbed a reservation, and yeah, it's called the lobster roll cruise, and yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. They pick you up. It's just like one big party boat. Serve you drinks. They take you out onto the water. You get to see a really beautiful sunset, and then they feed you. You have like choices of a lobster dinner or a lobster roll or steak. Anyway, it's a really fun time, and we got a really good sunset. I'll pop some B-roll here so you can see some of it. And yeah, the next day we hit up the beach. That was the really hot and humid day. It was, believe it or not, I went in the water. It was the water, I want to say, was like about high 60s. So, you know, I didn't go all the way in, but it was hot enough where I was like, I'm super hot. I'm going in the water to cool off. So we did that. And then the next day, what did we do? We went to a trail. One thing that's really fascinating and also kind of sad, the erosion on the coastline is deteriorating at a rapid pace. So there's this one trail that we go to every year, the Monomoy Trail. It's out in Chatham, and we've been going to this trail, you know, at least once a year for as long as I can remember. And it's just a really quick, beautiful trail, and you get to see the coastline, the Chatham Beach. And this year we go back and like things are looking a little different. Like this whole wooded area was no longer there. It just collapsed into the water. It was so wild, but the trail was still there. We just had to go in another way. But I mean, it was just such a windy, overcast day. It was very haunting. I felt like I was walking on the moors. It's just so beautiful. We were walking along the beach, and the tide was completely out, so the beach stretched out for miles, and what seemed like miles and miles. It went so far out. You know, there were seagulls, there was wind, there was driftwood, old trees that, you know, just fell off the cliffs, just lying around. It was really creepy, almost very eerie, very eerie. And you know, you had this moist sand with dry sand just sweeping across. You felt like you were in a desert. And then the next day was another low-key day. We went to the beach again and then hit up the fabric store, and you know, every night just going out to eat, trying to enjoy the sunsets. And we got a really good one last night at dinner. So yeah, that was our Cape Cod trip in a nutshell. Bikers. Ignore the crazy lady recording herself. Yes. I'm getting more comfortable with this, guys. Anyway, I'm going to end things there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you are new here, again, this is not the normal format of my YouTube channel. Next episode, I will be back in my craft room chatting with you and hopefully have more progress on my Boxy Lace and Fade by Locatelli, and some more whips to share with you, and quilting. Yes, I think there will be some quilting. So anyway, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah. Yes, if you are new here and you enjoyed this episode, feel free to like and subscribe down below. And if you haven't already, consider becoming a member of this YouTube channel, because I do publish a bonus vlog every week, letting you know what I got up to life-wise, craft-wise, what's, you know, a little behind the scenes and my creative process, a little hodgepodge here and there, and then, you know, some other bonus content sprinkled in along the way. And of course, an invite to a private Facebook group. So, that said, I hope you are staying cool, staying hydrated. Oh gosh, why? And until the next video, I'll see you next time. Bye!